Oh, don't get too excited. My goodness. All right, good morning, everybody. It is Brittany at Big Cat Rescue here in Tampa, Florida. And this is Priya Tiger. She is going to be our very first cat on this morning's virtual feeding tour. So if you guys are new to us, we used to give in-person keeper tours and feeding tours every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Out of precaution of COVID-19, we had closed to the public for all of those tours. So we've been trying to bring you a specialty tour once a week. This week's going to be a feeding tour. Yay, with our guide, Rebecca. Yay, and our backup, Michael. Michael's a level 1 intern, so he is going to be driving Rebecca around, helping hand her stuff. All right, Rebecca, take it away.
Hi everyone, welcome to our virtual feeding tour. So I'm just going to show you an example of what we feed the cats. So this is one of our big cat buckets. Each big cat gets their own separate feeding bucket with their name on it, and they get fed up to 16 pounds of food a day, so it gets a little bit heavy.
It does.
So inside we have some mush. This is like the basis of their diet, so it's basically ground up beef. It's the most healthy part of their diet for them because it's got all sorts of vitamins and minerals. So being the best part of their diet, it's usually their least favourite. They tend to prefer the tasty treats we put in there for them. So today's more of a chicken day, so they're going to get chicken thighs, chicken drumsticks. On other days we feed red meat, so whole chunks of beef for the cats. And some of the smaller cats get chicken necks as well. So we try and vary it day by day to help their diet and just to make it more interesting for them. And then twice a week the cats also get whole prey. Which is maybe euthanized before it gets to the sanctuary, and that's a really important part of their diet because in the wild they would eat the whole animal. They'd eat the fur, the bones, the organ meat, so we just try and mimic that as well, so that is really healthy for them.
Yep.
So I'll tell you a little bit more about how we feed and why we feed the way we feed. I'm going to feed Priya though because she's been waiting.
She is.
So she's been quite impatient. So here we go.
Plus time change. She is like, you guys are 2 hours late. Oh, Kathleen's on here. You guys just had a birthday. A virtual birthday. Oh, I bet that's hard.
So you'll notice I'm putting the food in, but Priya is locked away from me, and we're big up on safety here for obvious reasons. These cats are really dangerous. So I'm able to put the food in and then I'll let Priya into the enclosure, into the lockout area. So we call this their lockout.
Thank you, Janet, for the donation. We really appreciate that. 100% of your donations goes to the care of the cats. And because we're a nonprofit, every dime truly matters for these guys. So thank you very much. With us being closed again for our guided educational tours and our specialty tours, that's about $160,000 a month that we're missing out on for the cats. So really appreciate you guys when you donate. Really appreciate every one of you that shares this to help alert other people that we are live. All right, she's got a full plate. And now Rebecca can go over and open her guillotine door. Good job, lady. That is a smorgasbord of food.
Yeah. So we feed, as a lot of you know, I know a lot of you watch these videos regularly. We feed first thing in the morning, and it's one of the most important times of day because as well as feeding the cats, it's also a really good time for us to get a visual look at the cats. When we go out and clean a little bit later, Priya might be sleeping in the middle of her enclosure and we won't be able to see her very well. So now's a good time for me to get like a good look at her, see if she's walking well, see if she has any visible marks on her that we didn't notice before, make sure she's eating well, chewing on both sides of her mouth. Obviously we're completely hands-off facility here, so all the information we get about our cats is pretty much from visual appearance before we decide to take like other action if a cat's not feeling well. So that's why feeding time is so important. It's not just about feeding, it's about looking at the cats as well. So we like to make sure they're eating well. And we also log what they don't eat. So I like to say we log what goes into them and what comes out of them, because we have a food log and a poop log. So if a cat's not pooping enough, that's a cause for concern. If they suddenly stop eating, that's a cause for concern. And just like your domestic cats, wild cats are really good at hiding when they're feeling unwell, and that's kind of like a survival instinct, because they don't want to advertise their weakness to other predators that might be in the area. So they can be quite sneaky about, you know, not telling us if they're feeling unwell. So we have to pick up on other signs, like a cat regularly leaving behind like more than half of its diet. So that's one of the reasons we feed in the morning. If a cat doesn't eat their whole diet, we can always go out a little bit later on the day and see if they want a little bit more or something different. As a lot of you know, I'm sure our cats here are very spoilt, so some of them are very picky and only like certain kinds of meat, so we'll of course cater to that and give them lamb or turkey or whatever they want. But the basis of their diet is chicken and red meat, and it comes to us on huge truckload deliveries, and we've got 2 massive walk-in freezers because we feed out pounds of raw meat daily. All of our cats get fed every day. So in the wild they wouldn't eat every day, but we don't have a need to mimic that here. Like I said, you know, feeding's important, so we can you know, observe the cats and see how they're doing. So we feed them every morning.
She would never allow us to do anything less.
Right, yeah, Priya, as a lot of you know as well, our food prep building is right here. So Priya gets the first look at the food prep building and sees when the carts start getting loaded. So she waited a little bit extra this morning because she's on the feeding tour, but I think she's forgiven me.
I think so too.
And Priya's also really good because she usually cleans her plate. So she makes it easy for the cleaners when we come.
Yes, absolutely.
Because our routine is we feed in the morning and then we clean afterwards. So that involves picking up any leftovers, cleaning their feeding slab, and changing out their water and filling it with fresh water. So she's such a good girl.
She is such a good girl. It's
Good
a
girl,
good
Priya.
crunch. One crunch and it was gone.
Yeah, it always blows me away watching them eat the drumsticks.
Yes, yeah.
And I think feeding tours are really cool, because back in the day when we used to, you know, do in-person tours here, you know, people would always come and see the cats and they were like, oh, but aren't you ever tempted to, you know, give them a little pet? And then I'd be like, you know, I think you should come on one of our feeding tours, because when you see them eating, you know, meat with bones in it and just crunching right through it, you get a real understanding of how dangerous these cats are.
Absolutely. Maybe when we get to Sapphire, you can show them your hand in
Right,
the glove compared to the drumstick. Yeah.
Good girl, Priya.
Good
Look, she's
job.
part of the Clean Plate Club.
She
So
is.
we're very happy with that.
Good job.
Good girl, Priya. Love you.
Nothing to log there.
That's awesome. I love that. Oh, and I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about Priya before we move on to the next cat. She's probably got one of the saddest stories out of our cats here, but is one of the happiest cats that we have here. If you know Priya, she's very, very happy.
Yeah.
She came to us as part of a big rescue from a breeding facility in Colorado that was shut down. And while Priya was there, she was used for breeding. So she was bred over and over and over again. And instead of being allowed to keep her babies for a year or two, as she would in the wild, she constantly had her babies taken away from her so that she could go back into heat and get pregnant again. And what her babies were being used for is what's called a pay-to-play scheme. So if you guys have ever seen a place where you can pay to have a picture taken with a baby tiger cub, that's what Priya's babies were being used for. It was incredibly tragic what happened to her. She never got to raise any of her own cubs. And then when she got here, she was a completely different cat than what you see now. She was very scared, kept herself to herself. I remember she would just hide in her den all day. And we noticed she was incredibly bloated. So almost immediately after she arrived, we sedated her and took her in. And it turned out she had pyometra, is that what it's called?
Hydrometra.
So basically her uterus was infected because she had so many babies, which is completely unnatural for what a tiger would do in the wild. So if we hadn't have caught her, she most likely would have died.
Absolutely.
So she had a pretty traumatic introduction to life here because she had major surgery done. But then eventually turned into this super happy, feisty, loving tiger. So I always really like telling her story though, because I think it's important for people to hear. Those places are still around, unfortunately, and they usually reel you in with a lie saying that the cubs have either been orphaned or they're raising money for a conservation project. Don't listen to those lies. You know, you need to ask, where's the parent? And it's pretty apparent that they've been taken away from their mothers. So please never pay to have your picture taken with any exotic animal. That's a pretty good rule to follow. And always think of Priya.
Absolutely.
But she's recovered from that part of her life, and she's one of the happiest cats we have here now.
Definitely. Definitely. She's like, just in case something magically showed up, let's go back to the plate. Good job, lady.
Okay, so we're going to go from one of our biggest cats to one of our tiniest cats.
Perfect.
So
All right, I will follow behind you guys. All right, thank you so much to the 4 of you guys that have donated so far. If you want to help put an end to private ownership and the cub petting pay-to-play schemes, you can check out bigcatact.com and make the call to the wild for us. Good job, Priya. If you can contact your legislators, we're hoping to hone in on the senators to make the call to the wild and ask them to please support the Big Cat Public Safety Act. That would help cats like Priya never have to go through the things that she went through in her lifetime. Luckily, she is doing really well here. So we're gonna go see one of our oldest cats on property. We just got started. If you guys have joined in a little bit late, we are just getting rolling here. We saw Priya Tiger get breakfast, and now we're gonna go see one of our oldest cats on property.
And yeah, one of our oldest as
yeah,
well.
24.
So we're going to meet Purrfection. This is her diet, and it might seem only like a little bit compared to what Priya got. But Purrfection's one of our oldest cats. She actually gets her food split into 2. So she gets a morning meal and an afternoon meal, because I believe she gets medication in the evening.
She does, yep.
We have a lot of our cats are very senior here. I like to think of us as like a big cat retirement facility. So all of our cats that come here, they're going to spend the rest of their lives here. So they get old, like Purrfection's 24, right,
yep,
which
yep.
is crazy.
It is.
She'd maybe live to be like 8 or 9 in the wild. So she's
yes.
ridiculous age, which is awesome. I think it's a testament to the amazing care that we give the cats here.
Absolutely.
But she needs medication. I'm not entirely sure for what.
So she, every other day she gets pred, and that's because of the hot spots that she has developed over the years. We're not sure if it's an allergy or over grooming or something like that. And then she also gets Fortiflora, which is like a probiotic to to help her stay regular in her old age. Yep.
So unlike domestic cats where you can like wrap them in a towel and pop a pill down their throat, we obviously don't do that here, so we have to smuggle it into their food. So that's why Purrfection gets food in the evening as well, so that she will eat her medication.
Absolutely.
Easier said than done. Some of our cats are really picky and have amazing sense of smell, so they can smell the pill even before you try to put it in front of their
Absolutely.
mouth. So Brittany is a meds person, and the meds people, they get very good at knowing what a cat really likes.
Yes.
So they might really like ground turkey or chicken liver, so we try and make sure it's in their favorite food to encourage them to take it.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of these cats will be on medication probably for the rest of their lives.
Exactly.
They might be on a pain med to help with their arthritis in their old age, and so forth. So also Purrfection's tiny, so her amount of food does fit her size as well.
Absolutely.
And she's an old lady, doesn't have many teeth left, so it's cut into little pieces as well.
Little pieces, yes.
Even though, I mean, she's feisty.
She is feisty. I was about to say, even though most of the meds cats can be really picky, Purrfection will take it in anything. in anything. Oh, people are asking about your hat.
Oh, like where it's
Yeah,
from?
yep.
Oh, it's from a really cool sanctuary up in Watkins Glen, New York. It's called Farm Sanctuary, and it's sanctuary for farmed animals. So it's
Awesome.
really cool. They also have Explore cameras like we do.
Right,
So,
yeah.
you can watch like the sheep, and the turkeys. It's really cool.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, Rebecca is involved in all kinds of different realms of the animal world, not just Big Cat Rescue.
Love them all.
Oh, come on, lady.
Yeah.
We're a little late. You gotta go down your escalator there. Good job, lady. Oh my goodness. All right, this way. This way. Come on, lady. Gotta go to lockout, babe.
So you'll notice Purrfection isn't locked out. The smaller cats don't tend to get locked out because I can just put their food in without getting too close to them.
Probably come on this side, maybe better. Here we go. So you'll see this extra layer of wire around her feeding lockout, and we put that up in order to discourage like large birds like vultures or honestly crows or
Ducks.
Even to her a bluebird from sneaking in and stealing her food. So that's that extra layer of wire.
Even though I feel like Purrfection wouldn't let that
Nope,
happen.
she wouldn't.
Some of our cats would, but she would not. So I picked Purrfection because I think she's one of the coolest cats we have here. It's so cool that she's still with us because she's so old, like Brittany said. And ocelots are just fascinating. This is her full grown, so she's not a kitten. Her coat is just absolutely stunning. And unfortunately they were used for the fur trade, as most cats do because of their fur coats. They're also popular as pets as well. So we've had a few ocelots here that have come to us as former pets. They make horrible pets though. One of the number one reasons is though their urine smells awful.
It's terrible.
Sometimes you'll walk past her enclosure and you get like a really strong whiff of it, and you would not want that in your house at all. And they have a very strong urine because they tend to live in rainforesty areas, so they have a really strong scent, so they can mark their territory very well.
Yeah, that way it doesn't get washed away.
She's quite shy, but she seems to be getting more confident in her
She
old age
does.
almost.
I agree. I think she's very confident.
And you saw the really cool platform that our volunteers built for her. So as she got older, we two volunteers restructured her platform.
Yeah, she used to have that. Remember, she had that really tall catwalk that used to scare the heck out of all of us when she'd walk across
Even
it.
though one time when she'd just gotten it, I saw her just climb up the side of the enclosure.
I've seen her do that.
Then pop herself onto the platform.
I've seen her do that actually in the last month or two.
Yeah, so she
still doing
refuses to be babied. She's still an absolute cool cat, even though she's old. She's still got it.
She does.
So ocelots are found in Central and South America, and even I did read in like the southwest of the United States. I'm not sure how many are left, unfortunately, in North America. It'd be really cool to see them, gaining population here.
Where are you going to? Oh, we've got an opinion.
I know. I'm sorry I was late, Mama.
Yeah. You'll get more this afternoon, also.
She goes. So she'll get another meal in the afternoon with her medication. So she's most likely gonna go and climb back up on her platform like a good girl.
Right back to where she was. She's like, unless you're gonna come on over here with snacks.
No, I'm sorry. And most of our cats, after they eat, they clean themselves meticulously, just like a domestic cat would. And the reason they're so particular about cleaning themselves is because in the wild, after they killed an animal, they probably have, blood and guts all over them. They want to clean all that smell off them so that other predators or prey wouldn't be able to smell them. So she's kind of starting her little grooming session now. And then she'll probably go and sleep for the rest of the day because cats tend to be more nocturnal. They tend to be more active during the night. So she'll probably come down from her platform when her evening snack gets here. So it's a pretty good life for her, I would say.
Unless it's me, and then she'll make me stick feed her down every single
really?
level. Yes. If it's too hot, you have to give her a treat on every level as she works her way down.
That's awesome. What a little princess.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
She's got me wrapped around her little paw.
Yeah, have our pieces just wrapped around her little.
She's
Okay, so we're going to go to another little cat. We're going to go to Lovey. Hopefully she'll come out because she can be a little bit shy and easily freaked out.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But
Oh, you can.
with just me and Brittany here.
Yeah, and if we walk, I think if we walk through like normal, yeah, if we drive up on carts, I'm afraid she'll be like, no thanks.
So we'll come back and
Yeah, because didn't you guys do a project in there recently? Some raking and stuff? Yeah, so I think that's probably, she'll be a little like,
Yeah, I remember she used to be on the feeding tour, didn't
She
she?
did, yeah, her and Thurston.
Yeah.
Yep, they were on the feeding tour.
So Lovey has another sad story, unfortunately, but it has a happy ending because she came here. She came to us from a private owner in Kansas who had multiple big cats and small cats being kept in the worst conditions, so much so that the Kansas authorities actually stepped in and confiscated them.
Here goes
Isn't that cool?
Lakota, yeah.
We're going to just duck our way over here. And they were being kept in horrible, tiny cages. Hadn't been cleaned out in months.
Here she goes.
And she and her partner Thurston only had a tiny little dog den for cover. And this was in Kansas where it gets very cold.
Yeah.
Hi, Princess.
Oh, there she is. Hey, sweet lady. Gotta come in this one over here.
Put the food in and then I'll leave you to it. Come on. Come on, baby. So she gets a thigh.
Chicken thigh and some mush. She will take the thigh to go. Oh, she's still got her little pumpkin.
Oh, cute.
Let me see if she'll let me watch her. Won't get any closer than this. Good job, lady. She's like, I'll cover in leaves. It was on a clean plate. It was on a clean plate for a second.
A lot of the time, so the lockouts serve like a dual function for us. So they're feeding area, so that's super important. But also, say if Lovey wasn't feeling well and we wanted to take her to the vet, one way we might catch her is we would get her to come into the lockout and we'd shut the lockout door and trap her in there. And then we would take what's called a squeeze cage, so a cage that we can carry into the enclosure and get her to shift into the squeeze cage so we could carry her out. And the squeeze cage is a way that we can sedate the cats without handling them for obvious reasons. Our cats do tend to get a little bit suspicious around their lockout if they have been recently taken to the vet. So it's really good for us to try and get them to, feel comfortable going in there to help with our vet program.
Absolutely. And even us just standing here talking is helpful to get her over whatever freaked her out from being shifted around too.
Yeah.
So the more you can kind of hang around them and let them know that not every time we're around is a bad thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And here's more of a view of her feeding lockout. So you can see she's not in it. She's in this large space behind it, but that's what Rebecca was just explaining. And she'll come back in for her mush, probably not while we're standing here, so we'll clear out. But at least you guys got to see her. I'm impressed. I was afraid she'd stay hidden.
Yeah, when I picked her, I was like, oh, I don't know, because I know she can get quite nervous, but I feel like she doesn't turn up on lives a lot.
No, she doesn't.
She does kind of stay in her den a lot, so I thought people would like to see her. She's super cute.
She is cute.
And you'll see she has a little pumpkin in the background, a little tiny one. So we've just been handing out our Halloween enrichment for the cats. So that was a lot of pumpkins and a lot of spooky enrichment that they made for the cats. So they always have a lot of fun playing with that.
Yeah, Halloween enrichment, you guys always just blow me away.
They
I love
did amazing.
It. They did.
Yeah.
Well, good job. I'm so impressed, lady. We must have decent bank accounts with her.
Yeah.
Good
I have
job,
been giving
Hans.
her a lot of enrichment recently.
Good.
So.
That makes all the
bobcats
difference.
are super cool. If you guys are familiar with a lot of our cats here, you'll know that they look completely different. So, and that's because they have a really wide distribution. You can find them pretty much in every state of North America except for Hawaii. So they tend to look different depending on what part of the country you find them in. So they're bigger and lighter in colour up in the north of America, the north of North America. And then down here in Florida, they tend to be skinnier and darker in colour. But they're really cool cats. Don't be deceived by their small size. They have been known in the wild to bring down deer. So they're incredibly strong. And opportunistic. They'll, you know, catch other things like birds and rodents and stuff like that. But they're very, very strong and agile cats. Good climbers as well, which is why you'll notice she has a roof on her enclosure. Some of our big cats are able to have open air sections, but not the little cats who can climb, because they can climb very well.
Very sneaky.
Good girl, Lovey.
Good job, honey.
So we'll leave her to it.
Yes.
Head back.
That was very good.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
Very impressed.
So yeah, so we have quite a few bobcats in this section here. So Sue and Lakota in here, they're the more kind of skinnier type of bobcats I was describing.
Way less spotty.
Yeah, so
You want a moment?
It's just so cool to see how much they vary
He's
in
like,
size.
all right, bye.
Yeah. He's almost got tiny like dots on him, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. Real small spots. Yep.
Yeah, those ones are Spitfires as well.
Yes, they are.
They will bark at you.
I love bobcat vocalizations.
Yeah.
They sound so different, every single one of them, and it sounds like hundreds of different sounds come out of a bobcat. I especially love when they chirp and they almost sound like birds and things like that. I'm like, I wonder how many times like you thought you were hearing a bird and it could have been a bobcat. All right.
So we're going to carry on. We're going to do a serval next. So we're going to go and see Des.
Perfect.
Yeah, Des.
All right. Get this gate closed real quick. Maybe. Oh, nope. There we go. All set. All right. Go see Desi. So Rebecca's going to show you guys a really good variety. Which way did you want to go? This way or this way?
Should we go around
Yeah,
that way?
we can spin around.
Kind of on the side.
Yeah. So we just got started. We've seen Priya Tiger and we've seen Purrfection, our ocelot. And now we're gonna go see Des, an African serval. Thank you so much to the 5 of you that have donated. Thank you, Kathleen. I saw that name. I missed a few of the others. I try not to interrupt or talk too much because the point is for you to hear our feeding tour guide, which is Rebecca. And she is just the cutest, sweetest human being on the planet. And I love hearing her information and all of the cute little sayings she has. And she's been out here. She started out here as an intern and has been out here for many years now. And she's just a really amazing person to learn from. So if you've missed any of this, you can rewatch it when we're all done at dailybigcat.com. We're gonna stop at this gate right here. We're actually gonna see 2 African servals. So we're gonna see Des, and then we'll see one more.
Short attention span. Okay, so we're going to see Des. So he is one of our servals here. He's been here for years now.
I was shocked at how long he's been here.
I know.
It's like over a decade.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out how old he is. Who knows? Like,
Yeah, I mean, who knows, like, officially, yeah. We've got, like, what we think might be his birth date, but if somebody can post that, I'll let you know. Oh, my goodness, we're
So
a-running.
you'll see with Des, he is missing a leg, but he absolutely does not let it stop him.
No.
So you can see him follow me.
Yep, I'm gonna watch him follow you. You'll see that he will still beat her to lockout, even with 3 legs. You win, Desi.
And most of our little cats don't get locked down at feeding time, but Des does.
Yes, he does. He's a wild man. Woo! Went very fast. I love his noises.
Me too.
Such a little cookie monster.
So yeah, so Des gets kind of crazy at feeding time, so we do lock him out, mainly for the safety of the feeder and also to keep Des calm. So here he goes.
Oh, he's gonna,
There,
yeah,
good
he
boy.
ate it way too fast.
And then just gobble it right back up. There you go, good boy.
They love to do that.
And Des has been on a little diet, so it's really important for us as our cats get older to monitor how much they eat. Most of our cats, their diets are done by weight, so we weigh them out every day as we're preparing them. Des is especially important because he only has 3 legs, and as our cats get older they do tend to get arthritis, just like your domestic cats might. So with him it's really important to monitor that he doesn't put on weight too much, because it could really hurt the 3 limbs that he has left. So he's been doing really good. He even got some chicken today as a treat, so that makes me happy.
Yes, definitely.
So that's really important for us. If we notice a cat is getting a little bit chunky, we'll lower their weight, or if we notice they're slimming out really well, we might put a little bit more onto their diet. So
absolutely,
we do food prep every day. So today we'll be preparing tomorrow's diets. It usually takes us about an hour or 2, depending on how many people are helping, and it is a real process. All of our sanctuary is split into 4 sections.
Oh my goodness. Hi, Nala.
You got fed.
Did you say you guys bring more? I'm sorry, honey.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute.
That was adorable.
I've never seen her run before.
I haven't either.
That was a treat.
Darling, I'm sorry.
So Nala's just seeing if there's anything left to her, but don't believe her, she already got fed.
She did.
So our sanctuary is split into 4 sections, and we have feeding sheets to determine what each cat should be fed. And that's really important because, like I said, some of our cats are old, so they might not be able to get food with bones in it anymore. Or they might have to get their food cut up into very small pieces.
Yep.
So that's really important for us to follow the feeding sheets. So yeah, so Des looks like he's doing good, so he's getting a little bit more food now, so we're really happy about that.
Yeah.
And we believe Des was a former pet. We're not entirely sure where he came from. He was found in the Arizona desert, likely to have been abandoned there because they're not native to this country, so maybe he was a former pet or being used for breeding. So he came to us years ago, and has been one of our treasured servals ever since. So he's still ferocious, even in his old age. He's still really aggressive around food. Servals, if you don't know them, they're really, really cool cats native to Africa, and this is them fully grown, so they're a small wild cat. So he's not a baby, he's a very old adult. But even though they're small, they're still incredibly feisty. Sometimes even more intimidating than the tigers, I would say.
Yeah,
so
because these guys always greet you with a hiss or show their teeth, whereas the tigers, like, typically it's not worth the energy.
Right, yeah.
But these guys are always on guard.
Yeah, we like to say the smaller the cat, the bigger the attitude, and it kind of fits.
Absolutely. Good job, Sarah.
Good boy.
You did very good. I know, you really want more. Well, he's a meds cat, so he does actually get sort of an AM little snack with his med and a PM little snack.
Good.
Almost all of us give like a couple of like operant sized pieces with each med, so he gets little extras too.
He deserves it.
He does.
And he has a really big enclosure. It's also, part of it is able to be open air because he only has 3 legs.
Yep,
so
can't climb. Oh my goodness.
I know, it's okay. And we're going to go to our next serval. So I picked 2 servals today. So we're going to do Illithia. So we'll just go around the corner to see her.
Perfect. And she's still one of your operant cats, right?
She is.
Yes.
So she's one of my favourite cats here. Not a massive fan of me because servals, I mean, don't really, pick people.
Right.
But I'm very, very fond of her.
Yes.
Unrequited love.
Exactly. Have you seen your boy yet since he moved?
Enough attention back.
Well, so when I'm here, yes, I think like his first 2 days back there, I went back 3 or 4 times and he got multiple sickles and but he's doing well. I don't think he leaves that main back bubble very much. So I was going to mention that's probably your best bet is to, like, if you're going to work operant with him, is to get him to explore other sections. Because he's just kind of, every time I go back there, he's hiding in one certain den. He'll come straight out, but he won't really leave that bubble. So, yes. To Illithia. Okay. All right. Thank you to the 7 of you guys that have donated so far. We have seen Priya and Purrfection and Lovey, and now we've just seen Des, and we're gonna come over here and see Miss Illithia. And then we'll be heading back to see a couple of the bigger cats again. I think we'll have 2 more after this.
So this is Illithia's diet. She gets a little bit more than Des because she's younger. So let's see where she's
And
at.
very slim. She is a very slim girl. She might be suspicious too since she just came home from vacation, but she's been doing well. She did really, really good. It was her first turn. Oh, there she is. Sure, I'll stay here and you better come see breakfast. So she's under her coolaroo. Rebecca's gonna show her it's real life. There's real food. Come here, Illithia.
It's okay.
Nothing weird. It's really in there. Maybe if I come away from lockout and I'll go around and see if she'll come check it out, lady. It's all right, honey buns. You better go get that breakfast. You better go get that breakfast. Yeah. It's just a camera. You better go see. There we go. Good job, honey. It's all right. I'll stay over here even till you get in there. I promise it's not a trick. It's not a trick, babe. I swears. It's all you, honey. We'll leave. We'll leave if you really need us to. She is a little like, don't trap me in here, please.
No, Illithia, it's okay.
It's all right, babe.
That's kind of what she does when I do operant with her though as well. She hisses at me
all
the time.
Sure.
Good girl. So she's a good example of what a serval would look like in the wild. They're very sleek. They've got those long gangly legs, huge ears. They're kind of odd looking cats, aren't they? But they're, you know, absolutely gorgeous and kind of the perfect killing machine because they're actually the most successful hunter out of all the cats that you've seen today. So a lot of people think maybe like a tiger or a lion would be the best hunter, but they're not actually because they're going for larger prey. They're smaller cats, they're going for smaller prey, and so they tend to be more successful. So they pretty much catch anything that moves, and these cats, they can actually leap up into the air and swat birds out of the sky. So they're incredible hunters and have a very high success rate when they're out hunting, whereas a tigers and a lions tend to be like a lower % chance of succeeding when they're out hunting. So one of the number one reasons not to have one as a pet, they look small, so people think that they're manageable, but they're really not. And Illithia's owners did find that out, and they were actually here in Florida, and they tried their very best to make it work out with her, even built like an enclosure for her, and just ended up not being able to keep her. So they agreed to surrender her to us and not purchase any exotic animals again.
Exactly.
So I'm glad Illithia is here, and I think she's happy here, even though she tells us what to do and to keep away from her. But that's just the serval attitude.
Yes.
But they're super gorgeous cats. I love them.
She's so sweet. Yeah, I just wanted to. I don't want her to feel like she can't enjoy breakfast.
Yeah.
So I was like, we'll stay over here.
I think she knows that we're not tricking her or anything.
Yeah.
Okie dokie, so we have 2 cats left, so we're going to head to Nikita now.
Okay, wonderful. Let's go see our lion. Oh, I'll go back out this way and close the door. I know, honey. I know, babe. It's okay. I gotta get this door is all. That's all. Just gotta close this door and we're gonna go see Nikki. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much to the 8 of you that have donated. This is our very first, thank you, Amanda. This is our very first virtual specialty tour of November. Happy November, everyone. November 1st, I can't even believe it. So that means we are 2 weeks away from our virtual Wildcat Walkabout, which is going to take place on November 14th. And then we are 1 month away from one of our biggest fundraising days of the entire year, and that is Giving Tuesday. So that's December 1st, and I know that we're gonna have a match on donations, and we'll be getting all the details out for that soon. All right, Miss Knick-Knack. Yeah, she was sounding the alarm on the super late breakfast that she's getting. I will stay on the outside of the barricade. Yeah. She's not very happy with this time change late breakfast nonsense. So Rebecca will go show her that food is here for real. Good job, lady.
I don't have to hurry.
No, yeah. Don't worry. It'll be here when you get here. Oh my goodness. So you'll notice that Nikki has a camera here on her feeding lockout. You can find the link for that at bigcatcams.com. I know, honey. Come over into this corner so she doesn't feel threatened.
We would never, like we did with Priya, we were able to just, sit by her lockout and watch her eat. Mm-hmm. Nikki would never let us do that. She's, gotten better with age, but she's incredibly food aggressive. So I don't even talk to her while I'm putting the food in the lockout. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I do with the cats, I'll chat to them, but not with her because that will just agitate her. She's very, very protective of her food. Mm-hmm. It's really goofy the rest of the day. You've probably seen videos of her playing and stuff. But food, she's very, very serious around it. Yep. So we kind of give her space and just let her do her own thing.
Some very good crunching, lady.
Good girl, Knick-Knack. So she lives by herself. Normally in the wild, you'd probably know lions would live in pride, so there'd be 1 or 2 males and a group of females. But Nikita was rescued by herself, and she's used to living by herself. She doesn't respond kindly to other big cats. We did try to put her next to other big cats when she was first rescued, and she didn't like it, so we just let her do her own thing and be like a single lady back here. She has a big open air section that I'm sure you guys are familiar with, where she spends most of her time. And she has a pretty crazy story. She was rescued in the state of Tennessee from people who were drug dealers who were keeping her as a guard lion. So she was very young when this happened to her, about a year old, and they probably got her as a cub. And they basically had her chained down onto concrete and were using her to intimidate people. So luckily the authorities found out about it and confiscated her. And that's how we got her many years ago now.
Yeah, 2001.
Yeah,
Isn't
that's
that insane?
crazy.
She always gets a very long drink of water,
Yeah.
which is amazing. We need her to do that at her age. She's 19, going on 20.
Yeah, so she's been with us since she was about a year or two old now. So we've gotten to see her. She's always been this big, pretty much. Like, she's a very, very big cat. And she just kind of does her own thing.
Yep.
And in the wild, it's really cool. The lions, the female lions, the lionesses, they would do most of the hunting. So people often believe it's the males, but it's actually the women. I always find that really cool. I think the lionesses are just absolutely
amazing.
stunning.
Yeah, they're
they're
amazing.
they're really, really cool cats to observe. And she just has the best personality as well. And she's done really, really well with us. Only recently was she brought into the hospital. So
Yes.
do you remember how much she weighed? I'm horrible with this.
She was only about 350.
Okay.
Which was good because they had been purposely putting her on a diet due to
Okay.
the arthritis from her having been declawed
Yeah.
and, you know, the damage that does to them over the years. So she's on a pain management system. So she's a meds cat as well. And so she had slimmed down quite a bit, which was really, really imperative for her long-term health. Yeah.
Good girl, Nick.
She's so good. She's actually one of the cats where we tend to refill her water bowls multiple times a day,
Yeah.
especially in the heat of the summer.
Yeah, usually when I'm cleaning, I'll clean it out and put fresh water in it. She'll come and drink maybe half of it, and then I'll be like, okay,
Exactly.
I'll clean it again.
She likes the
Yeah.
freshies. That's what I always tell her. I'm like, come get your freshies.
Oh, she's a good girl.
She is.
But yeah, and this is good because she'll probably go and sleep for most of the rest of the day.
Yep.
So, but yeah, you probably heard her roar earlier. So she's the queen of Big Cat Rescue now. She's the only lion that we have. She's definitely the queen of the facility. Good girl.
And you guys will see she'll turn and she'll be able to come out of, that's just her feeding lockout. And that's, again, an area Rebecca explained earlier, that if we needed the vet to get a close eye on her, if we needed to give her some kind of vaccine or a topical medication, which we've actually been able to do. She had a scrape on her shoulder from rubbing too hard on the wire, and we were able to actually just spray a topical on her while she was in her feeding lockout. So no need to sedate her in her old age or anything like that. So there she goes. She's probably heading right back out to the open air section. And then here in a little bit, we'll probably hear a roar of appreciation that she finally got breakfast. That or it's your review and it's not a good one. All right, so we just have a crazy lady left, Miss Sapphire. Perfect. Okay, sounds good. All right, so we are heading to our last cat for Rebecca's feeding tour today. Hope you guys have enjoyed that. Thank you again to everybody who's sharing this, everyone who's interacting with each other in the comments. When you like and respond to each other's comments, that really, really helps these live feeds reach other people. Really appreciate the 9 of you guys that have donated and made our first virtual tour of November a success. You know, it takes a little bit of work to make sure there's enough people on property for me to borrow a couple to guide these types of tours. So I really, really appreciate when you guys make all that effort. So worth it. I appreciate all of your kindness and this community of you all helping each other out in the comments. Kali is still on vacation, and they opened her up to be able to have full access. So she can come and go out of the roof section now as she wants to. And I believe her medication is either done or close to being done. And she's still doing well, still eating. So that's our vacation rotation area. I don't know that they'll be extending her vacation, but I have not heard that yet. We'll learn that the week that we're going to move them around. Ooh, good call, Luana. Yep, effective like a day or two ago. one of our staff members, Katie, has our fundraiser for buying turkeys for November, turkeys and Cornish hens. It is now live, so if anyone can post the link to that. You can also tack it onto your order when you go to bigcatrescue.biz and you buy some of our virtual Wildcat Walkabout gear. You can add a turkey or a hen to your order there as well. Yay!
So last but not least, we have Sapphire, who is our white tiger, and she's ready and waiting.
She is. She's like, I'll finally not just stare at Aria.
Right.
I'll come over for food.
Hi.
Miss Lady, that's a lot of chuffs. So if you guys look at her hands in those white gloves and you see those drums, yep, very similar. So I always find it amazing. We have to answer to people all the time about why we don't pet them, but the moment you watch one of these predators eat, you know why we don't pet them.
I find the more I'm around them as well, the less appealing it is.
Yes, 100%. It's like the risk would never ever be worth the reward. And people don't, like, I think people associate petting with bonding. And I've had deeper bonds with these cats out here that I've never touched or ever, you know, just by feeding them, enriching them, giving them attention, stopping just to chat with them. You really can build an amazing relationship with a cat that you never had to push your own wants on them. You know, I get bit and scratched by my own cat I've had at home for 13 years. Like, what makes me think a wild cat would? So she will let her in and we'll watch Sapphire have breakfast. We'll wrap up here. I think I can go right here. You're okay, baby.
Hey Lisa, can you go through?
That was a nice snarl she gave us.
Right.
I don't usually get that from her.
Me either.
It's
You
being
know,
late.
Made her way.
Yeah, we made her wait. I'm sorry, honey. Ooh. Should we leave? I can take a few steps back.
So Sapphire came to us 5 years ago, maybe.
Going on 5, yeah.
She came to us because she was being kept as a pet in the state of Ohio, that her owner wasn't keeping her to the right standards, so she and the other cats there were confiscated. So 4 of them came to us, but a huge court case happened because of it. Ended up going on for 4 years. So for 4 years we didn't really know what was going on with these cats. We were basically just their caretakers. They didn't legally belong to us. Until finally the court case was resolved after 4 years and they officially became our cats. So for those 4 years we kind of gave them the nickname the witness protection cats, because they were kind of in a form of witness protection. We couldn't tell tours about them, we couldn't post pictures of them on social media, so it was a very, very happy event for us when they officially became our cats.
It was.
Because now we can give them, you know, the best level of care here.
Yep, shower them with all the attention and get them all the sponsors. If you guys ever want to sponsor one of our cats, you can do that at bigcatrescue.biz as well. It's our official online store, so you can do all kinds of fundraisers and buy all kinds of products, and all of that money benefits the cats.
Yeah, fun Christmas holiday idea.
Yes, yeah, that's coming up fast.
So yeah, as you notice from the stories, a lot of them are unfortunately coming to us from private ownership, and that's because it's still a huge problem in this country. There's more tigers in the states of Florida and Texas alone than there are left in the wild, and there's maybe only around 3,200 left in the wild, and that's just a rough estimate. So it's a huge problem in this country, not just tigers but all kinds of exotic cats and animals, and we're trying to do something to stop that. So as well as being a sanctuary for cats that we rescue, we're also trying to influence legislation. So I'm sure a lot of you already know this, but I'm just going to say it again. We're trying to pass a bill called the Big Cat Public Safety Act that would stop people from being able to keep big cats as pets, because it might seem like a really cool idea, but it's a huge problem in this country, and as well as the cats being kept in awful conditions most of the time, it's also a big risk for the public. So Sapphire came to us from the state of Ohio, and in Ohio an awful incident happened in a city called Zanesville, where a private owner of exotic animals, so he had, I think, like big cats, bears, primates. One day he let them all loose, and the sheriff, deputies there were forced to kill a lot of them because they were running towards a residential area. So it's an issue of public safety and protecting these animals, because they should be out in the wild, not in someone's backyard. So if you guys want to help out, if you're a resident of the United States of America, you can text the word cats to 52886, and that will prompt you to get in touch with your legislators in Washington DC. It's super easy. It's just a little answering machine message that you have to leave, and we'll tell you what to say. And it's a really cool way for you to support us. If you can't financially support us, definitely try and support us with a phone call. Cats to 52886, because our goal is not to have to be here. That's like our dream. What we're working towards is for then to be no cats to have to be rescued. Unfortunately, there's still plenty of cats out that do, and there's still people buying them and keeping them as their pets. So we're trying to, stop the problem before it gets any worse. So please help us if you can.
Awesome. She had a big breakfast.
She did. She's doing pretty good
She's
as well.
doing good. She's pretty notorious for leaving a little bit of food. Well, I definitely want to thank the 10 of you guys that donated, everyone sharing this, everyone helping each other out in the comments and answering all kinds of questions. Really appreciate all of your support on these virtual tours. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to give the level of care, the, top-notch diets and vet care, large enclosures, lots of enrichment. Rebecca here is part of our enrichment team, so she gets together. Do you want to tell everybody what you guys do on Wednesday night?
So we meet up and we make big enrichment for the cats, and it's usually a theme. So we've been working on Halloween enrichment a lot. Next up will probably be Thanksgiving, so we build a lot of stuff with cardboard and make sure that they have something really fun to play with. So it's kind of complicated to enrich big cats because they're so destructive.
Yes.
We have to be really careful about what we give them. The kind of plastic toys we have to give them have to be very sturdy because they can, rip right through them. So we just try and build really fun stuff for them, and I'm sure you guys have seen loads of videos of their creations being destroyed after they spend weeks making them.
Yes.
So that's the whole goal of it.
That's very fun.
It's kind of a burning man.
It is. It is. I love that analogy. So she obviously left some breakfast, not totally abnormal for her. So Rebecca will be able to lower that door, pick it up, take it back and weigh it, and then we'll log it for our vets to know what Sapphire did today. So we'll say goodbye to everyone now. So yay, thank you, Rebecca.
You're welcome. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks to Michael for driving us
Thanks,
around.
Michael.
Thanks everyone for watching and supporting us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. I hope you all have a great day, and we should see you around 2 o'clock, weather permitting, with Lisa today. Bye, everybody.